Modern day education was created for one thing and one thing only: to create compliant workers. It was not meant to make people the best and the brightest. That's not what education system was created for. It was meant to create a level of slave, to be honest, that can do certain tasks. Instead of the parent raising the children, it became the state raising your children. What happens when the state raises your children? This current society happens. And that's because the values that parents used to teach isn't being passed down to kids. More time is spent by kids at school than with parents. More time is spent by kids on their screen, on their phones, or on TVs, or playing games than in family situations. So who's actually teaching your kids? It definitely isn't you. It definitely isn't the parents. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Ricoverse for another segment of Saving America. So, today I want to talk about the education system. Now, my actual teaching experience and career experience has been mostly in education. So, when I talk about the system, it's mostly my personal views as I've gone through the system in and of itself. Modern day education was created for one thing and one thing only: to create compliant workers. What they really wanted was a group of people who knew how to do certain tasks, who could read and write to a degree, and who could be plugged into a factory setting. That's what they really wanted. They did not want critical thinking, free-minded individuals. They don't want independent people. They don't. Independent people are hard to control. Modern day education was created to whittle down the people's, individuality and creative thinking, while at the same time giving them skills that make them suitable for factory settings. They literally wanted everybody to either become blue collar or white collar. That's it. That's what they wanted for America. That's what the whole education system was for. It was created, the modern day education system was created in the 50s with that track in mind, to go into blue collar factory jobs and to go into white collar office jobs. That's what it was created for. White collar office jobs, those people would go from high school to a trade college or to a university, and where blue collar would go straight to work or did go into an actual trade school. So it was not meant to make people the best and the brightest. That's not what the education system was created for. It was meant to create a level of slave, to be honest, that can do certain tasks. Again, whittling down independent and critical thinking. That's what they didn't want. So when the government started doing this, it started pulling the kids from the home. Mostly because, both parents were out of the home now. After World War II, there was a big push for women to start working outside of the home. Because, one, they had found a sense of freedom because of the money it had brought to them. And two, the market had found a new population to exploit and sell to. Before, they were basically selling to the household, the man kind of thing. Maybe the woman indirectly, but after the 40s and 50s, after the whole woman thing, after women started getting into the workforce into a massive degree, they became a whole other market sector, a profitable amount. Most of the consumer products that are bought by women. This would not have happened if women weren't working in the way they're working right now. If they weren't working in the levels and the rates are working out right now, most of the business we have right now wouldn't be in business. Let's be real. So when the government started encroaching on the family, when they started taking the kids out of the family, mostly a lot of times because of necessity, there was nobody to watch the kids. Well, not true. Because in the old times, we actually had family. We had uncles and aunts and cousins and nieces and brothers and sisters, and we actually kind of worked together. But nowadays, it's like everyone's alone. Even if we have family or friends or whatever, everyone's still independent. We don't really rely or want to rely on each other. And that's pretty bad because it makes us rely on the government. It makes us It forces a lot of parents to have nowhere else but to take their kids to school, which is a horrible thing for everybody because instead of the parent raising the children, it became the state raising your children. What happens when the state raises your children? This current society happens. Are you guys happy in this current society? Not that it's great, not that it's not great, not that it hasn't given us wonderful advances of whatever. But I think we can all see a degradation. Like things aren't how they used to. And it's not like they were amazing before, but like things seem to be getting worse and worse. Technology-wise, we're going up and up, but the society as a whole seems to be going down and down and down. And that's because the values that parents used to teach isn't being passed down to kids. More time is spent by kids at school than with parents. More time is spent by kids on their screen, on their phones, or on TVs, or playing games than in family situations. So who's actually teaching your kids? It definitely isn't you. It definitely isn't the parents. I'm not going to say this to everybody. Some of you guys have taken your kids out of the public school. Some of you guys actually, even if they go to public school, you pay attention to them at home. That's great. Pay attention to your kids. Watch what they're learning. When they actually bring home something, ask them about it. Look at their work. Seriously, parents, the biggest reason the education system is how it is right now, and the biggest reason America is how it is right now, is because of the fucking parents. Yes, there are many decisions people had to take back in the days, and now there's two-parent households that have to be, both parents have to work and so on. Yes, all that shit is true. But like, we don't live with family anymore. So even if it was both parents had to work, like there could always be a cousin or an uncle there to take care of the kids, or auntie or uncle, whatever. Yeah, there was always someone there to take care of the kids. There was always the parents to take care of the kids. The idea that both parents need to work in the family to make ends meet is true only if the only people in that household is the parents. If you have grandparents, if you have other family members, they can easily serve to fill those holes. It's not just about the two parents. It's about the family unit as a whole. We're not acting as a family anymore. We're too damn independent. We don't give a shit about each other. Not to the degree we used to give a shit about each other before. Right? Now, is there something parents can do right now that actually improve their kids' chance and status in the education system? Yes. There's definitely something they can do. And it's called pay attention to your kid. Holy crap. You have no idea how easy it is to fix a lot of these kids' problems when it comes to school. There are so many tiny misunderstandings that kids have that can easily be fixed with 5 to 10 minutes of conversation and understanding. But no, schools don't have enough time for them as individuals because schools are sardines in a fucking can, just learning BS that nobody pays attention to. Come on. How many of us in school actually paid attention in school? I was actually one of the only kids that paid attention in school, but that was only because I learned early on that if I paid attention in school, I could do the work without having to go home and do all the other stuff and like read about it and learn about it. No, I learned about it in school. I paid attention in school. I did the work mostly in school. So when I got home, I like to play video games. That's what I did. At school, I was at school to learn about school. I was actually interested in all the subjects, so that wasn't even that hard for me. I found interest in all the subjects. But I was able to pick up all the information in the class. So when I got home, I didn't have to review it. I didn't have to look at it. I didn't have to actually learn it. And the homework was a breeze because it's what they said in class. For the most part, that's how school is. But kids are, let's be honest, kids' attention span is just fucking horrible. Kids aren't that bright. And it's not 100% their fault, but there's a point to where it does start becoming their fault. And that's usually around the age of 14, 15, 16, when they're able to understand the world, but still choose not to because fuck it, I do whatever I want. Some nonsense like that. All right, I'm going on tangents. So going back to the parents, one thing you can do to actually help your kid is to start paying attention to his schoolwork. Have you ever actually heard your kid read a speech? Do you know his level of vocabulary, his level of understanding, his level of critical thinking? And this isn't something you can just get off a fucking piece of paper. Sure, you can take a test and it says, okay, he answered this question right, he answered this question wrong. But they're like, why your child thinks the way he thinks the way they do, is extremely important. Because in that logic that they have, there's so many flaws that need to be fine-tuned. This is a lot of what I, as a private tutor, do. I fine-tune the little things that you don't know. You have a general understanding of something. I literally go through your general understanding and fine-tune your thoughts. I give you the right encouragement or the right thoughts or the right ideas, and I put you on the right path so you can gain a better understanding of whatever subject we're talking about. That's what I do as a tutor. And that's what you guys can do as parents. You don't have to do that much to actually make your kid better than normal, better than average. Go home, make them write. If they're in elementary school, make them write one paragraph a day. By the time they're finished elementary school, your kid will be in the top 1 percentile of paragraph writing. They don't do much. They don't go very hard on essays in elementary school, so don't worry too much. If they can do one very good paragraph, they will be more than ready for middle school. In middle school, get them writing one essay a week. Yes, kids hate fucking writing. Yes, this is why kids suck at writing. Because they don't want to do it. They fight it. Every chance they get, they fight it. So ignore their BS and one essay a week. If you make your kid write one essay a week from 6th grade to 8th grade, by the time they're in 8th grade, their essays are masterpieces. And you don't have to actually edit them too much. Allow them to make mistakes. Allow them to write out their thoughts. Allow them to see the way their thoughts are being displayed in their head. And then as they progress, as they get older, they will fine-tune themselves. Kids are very, very receptive. They understand when they make mistakes. They catch things very quickly, but they don't know they're wrong until you make them aware. All right. So you have elementary school, one paragraph, middle school, one essay a week. And honestly, if your kid isn't reading in middle school, your kid is fucking up. Why? The best way to improve your kid's test scores is for him to independently read. And I'm going to say that shit again. The best way to improve your kid's test scores is for him to independently read. What does he want to read? Honestly, it doesn't matter. The bigger the chapter books, the more words it has, obviously it's better because it stimulates everything, to be honest. The harder the book, the better. All right? Don't just keep giving him these little mini chapter books. Eventually the pictures are going to have to go away. Yes, pictures have to go away. So, elementary school, one paragraph. Middle school, make your kid read something and one essay a week, and they'll be the most gangster essay writer in their school, most likely. And in high school, get them to write essays in contrary opinions. Because one thing teenagers don't have is the ability to see things from other sides. They see it this way and only this way, and everything else is stupid. No, they're stupid. But this is why if you get them to write things in different perspectives, a con argument, a pro argument here, if they're for something, force them to write against it. And it forces them to see things from different perspectives. Once they start doing this, they take this skill onto their life and they're able to see, I'm thinking this way, but this way is a much better way of doing things. So I think I should go this way. I think I should do this. This is what naturally starts happening. Like literally, they start autocorrecting. Kids are so amazing when it comes to autocorrecting. Adults are horrible at this shit because they're like, no, this is the way. This is how I've always been. Useless, garbage. No, none of that. Kids don't have that bias. They're not afraid to change. They're scared of being embarrassed. They're scared of being wrong in front of people. But if you create an environment where being wrong isn't the worst thing, like if I criticize you, it's not the worst thing. The worst thing is for you to keep doing the same dumb mistake over and over and over and over again. How you take this to your student or how you present this information to your student, okay, have a little more tact. Know your student. Don't just be like, you're a fucking idiot, you're dumb, don't do that. Never do that to a kid, because as soon as they tighten up and they go, no, I don't want this, they stop learning. So you can challenge them, but challenge them enough so that they feel a little bit pressure, but pressure enough so they can break out. Because I don't care if they're wrong. I care if they're not thinking. And that's what we should be focusing on. That's what we should be doing. We need to start giving them independent thoughts, critical thinking skills. This is what we should focus on, parents. And everybody else, educators, if you're out there. So, yeah, that's my rant. Education system needs to change, and the change literally begins with you. You that have a child at home, you that are an educator, you are the change that needs to start happening. Start paying more attention to your kid. Stop letting the schools teach them everything. That's not gonna happen. It's unrealistic to let the schools teach them everything they need for life. Stupid. Don't let that happen to your kid. Don't let your kid become the statistic. You want a kid to succeed? Make him work more. Is he gonna hate you? Sure, why not? But what else is he gonna be doing? Looking at bullshit TikToks? Playing dumbass video games? Unless he's becoming a professional gamer, ain't none of that shit gonna help him. So, step up your game so your kids can step up their game too. Because we need smart kids. Because the future's looking stupid as fuck, and it's scary. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have any other way to save America and America's education system down below. And like and subscribe, guys. It is what it is, and let's start saving America. Peace.